The Supreme Court is all set to resume hearing of the Gyanvapi Mosque case at 3 p.m. today. The Hindu side has claimed they are continuously worshipping Lord Adi Vishweshwar, Goddess Shringar Gauri, and other deities for hundreds of years within the property, and that the god's property can't be given to anyone. Hindus have been following their rituals, worshipping at the same place for centuries. They've also claimed that Aurangzeb had directed to demolish the temple of Lord Adi Vishweshwar. However, Muslim sides are saying all the claims are incorrect and that it was never really a temple. Earlier on Thursday, the apex court stayed the hearing in Varanasi court. The move came from the top court amid fears of the Muslim side that the Wazukhana, where a shivling was allegedly found, could be razed, following the order by the Varanasi court to seal the area. Two survey reports submitted in the Varanasi court mentioned an oval-shaped shivling structure in the Gyanvapi Mosque complex. The survey report also reveals a conical structure under the mosque dome, 4 idols in the crimson color, temple ruins and images of deities.
देखिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 274 पेज का जो कि बहुत शार्ट है, अभी मैंने पूरी बात नहीं लिखी है, बहुत ही शॉर्टकट है। औरंगजेब जब आया था तो उसने किस ढंग से विध्वंस किया था, पर विध्वंस करने के बाद भी पूरा मंदिर विध्वंस नहीं कर पाया था और मंदिर के जो शेष भाग थे उस पर हिंदू बराबर पूजा करते रहे। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 274 पेज का जो कि बहुत शार्ट है, अभी मैंने पूरी बात नहीं लिखी है, बहुत ही शॉर्टकट है, वो पूरा जवाब सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स लगा दिए हैं, जिससे ये शो होता है कि काशी क्या है, काशी का धार्मिक महत्व क्या है। औरंगजेब जब आया था तो उसने किस ढंग से विध्वंस किया था, पर विध्वंस करने के बाद भी पूरा मंदिर विध्वंस नहीं कर पाया था और मंदिर के जो शेष भाग थे उस पर हिंदू बराबर पूजा करते रहे। और अगर किसी मंदिर को आपने तोड़ भी लिया और किसी हिस्से पर काबिज भी हो गए तो उससे मस्जिद नहीं हो जाएगी, कि मस्जिद होने के लिए ज़रूरी कि पहले वक्फ हो। विदाउट वक्फ देयर कैन बी नो मॉस्क। ये बिल्कुल इसको कोई काट नहीं सकता।
Samar Srivastava is getting us more details on that story. Samar, first of all, give us an idea about the current situation. The Supreme Court has said in the past as well that Muslims should not be prohibited from offering namaz, though the shivling area should be sealed. What are the people saying, especially the Muslims who regularly worship, offer namaz and also use the Wuzukhana in Gyanvapi Mosque?
See, the place out here seems very tense, and what I tell you when I spoke to them, a lot of Muslim men coming in, they said that they have done the wuzu process in their homes and they just want to offer namaz inside the mosque. So these are the scenes coming on from what I can show you from the behind. If I can turn the cameraman around, you can see a lot of public is still out here, though a lot of public have been sent back to their homes. And if my cameraman can zoom out, you can see the Jawans of UP police out here with bulletproof jackets. You can see that, and this is that particular lane from where the Muslim men are being shifted to their bases. That means from there they came, and you can see CRPF Jawans, Army Jawans, and this is that particular lane where a lot of people were sent back. This was the lane which was fully filled, there was no space for the footfall, but now situation is under control. It seems it is under control because the time of namaz is almost over and people are returning to their bases. And while those who had arrived at this particular place around these police barricades have also left for some other namaz areas for performing prayers. So because this is the update that the area was sealed and instructions were given by the committee that there will not be allowance of more people inside, and also they will not be allowed to perform the wuzu thing. So that is why they were advised. And what I have with me, the UP police Jawans, you can see they have been in full bulletproof jackets, what I can show you, and these are the canes they are having, and also these kind of helmets. If some law and order situation prevails, these UP police Jawans are enough to tackle the situation. And they also got these plastic bulletproof jackets out here, and that particular thing which can be a riot worker because it can avoid any riot like situation. So police Jawans are in a position, but now it seems the situation is a bit okay because few minutes back, this entire area from where I'm reporting was filled with a lot of men, with police controlling and announcements being made by the Muslim clerics. Back to you.
Samar, thanks for getting us those details. Samar Srivastava with a detailed report. Gyanvapi survey report has been submitted in the Varanasi Civil Court, and this has hinted at the Hindu past at the mosque. The survey report says there are carvings of the lotus, bell and kalash on the wall of the basement of the mosque. Nabila Jamal tells you what exactly has been found in the cellar of Gyanvapi.
As the debate rages on what exactly was found inside the Gyanvapi Mosque by the survey committee, India Today has managed to find a 12-page report that extensively describes the kind of religious symbols that they've spotted inside the Gyanvapi Mosque complex. This is exactly the 3D image of that mosque complex. In fact, the Gyanvapi Mosque shares a wall with the Kashi Vishwanath temple complex, which is why you see that Hindu symbolism, that temple-like structure that very clearly shows that there could have been a temple there which may have been desecrated for a mosque to be built. That is the in fact the Shringar Gauri complex there, where we're looking at the survey findings saying that that western wall that's aligned right by the Gyanvapi Mosque at the back of the mosque, that western wall had large-scale Hindu symbols, all including the lotus, the damru, the Trishul. You had symbols extensively signifying that this indeed was a temple at one point. This is what the survey finding says. It's now in court. The court needs to dissect that. In that particular area where you see the barricading, that's exactly where the wazukhana was or is, where they claim to have spotted a shivling, a 2.5 feet shivling that they claim to have spotted, which the Supreme Court is now asked to protect. That's where you see the barricading right now to protect the shivling. And the most important part here is the shivling that the survey report claims to have found. The shivling that they say has been found right at the place where the wazukhana is at the Gyanvapi Mosque. And this is the 3D image that we show you here, where we're looking at that wazukhana, which has been fully barricaded after the Supreme Court asked to protect the shivling, but also at the same time not to impede upon the rights of Muslims to carry out their namaz. So this is that wazukhana area where you see right in the center, the shivling has been spotted as per the survey findings. Now the distance between the Nandi, as it's visible, the distance between the Nandi and the shivling found is about 63 feet and 3 inches. This is what the survey finding has to say. And of course the circular cutwork design on top of the shivling, that's what the survey further says, that there is some kind of cutwork on top of that shivling which they're trying to establish what is. Now we're also looking at a less than half-inch deep hole right in the middle of the shivling. This is what the survey findings claim further. But on the other hand, you have the Muslim side debating that this is not a shivling, that this oval structure is merely a water fountain. The mosque management is also asked to, in fact, the management asked to operate that fountain, but at the same time, they were not really able to give out factual details on how long has this water fountain been functional, whether it was functional or not, that still remains a mystery. In fact, first the mosque management said the fountain was not functional for about 20 years. And then they went on to change their stance and said that the water fountain was not functional for 12 years. So there seems to be some discrepancy in the information that the mosque management has given. It seems like they lack that knowledge. The mosque management could not really eventually prove that that fountain was indeed operational or not. So on one hand you have the Hindu side saying that it is a shivling, but on the other you have the mosque side saying that this is a water fountain. Now remember, the survey went on to open up several locked doors of the Gyanvapi Mosque, which of course the mosque committee had opposed to. But post the Varanasi court's order, some of those doors were opened up. Even the cellar, the basement area, was ventured into. The survey committee has gone down to find right at the cellar several palm-shaped leaves, literally on the wall of that basement. That cellar had some kind of carvings that resembled palm-shaped leaves, which is again synonymous to Hindu religion in many ways. Also on that pillar were carvings of the lotus, of a bell, as well as the kalash. This is of course very important as the survey findings tries to establish that indeed there is extensive Sanatan Dharma symbolism within that Gyanvapi Mosque, and this cellar here is one proof that it seems like the survey wants to present before court. The court, of course, now is going to take up the matter for debate. It remains to be seen what's going to be decided post that.
Going across straight to my colleague Anisha Mathur, getting us more details. She is at the Supreme Court where the hearing is going to start at about 3 o'clock today. Anisha, just to give us an idea about the kind of presentations essentially that's going to be made before the court, where the report has been submitted already. What will be the submissions of both sides? What really is expected?
Well, Sneha, remember this petition in the Supreme Court has been filed by the Muslim side. The Varanasi Mosque Committee had said that their orders passed by the trial court so far, the civil court so far, are all incorrect, that there should not have been any commission of inquiry, there should not have been any survey, and that the hearing in this matter is barred under the Places of Worship Act. On the other side, of course, the Hindu petitioners have moved an interlocutory application saying that the obstructions to the right to worship should be removed, that the temple was a structure that was in existence for much longer than much before the rule of Aurangzeb, that there was a deliberate act by Aurangzeb as an act of control, as an act of madness of power. And I'm quoting this here, that Aurangzeb, in the exercise of madness of power, ordered the demolition of part of the temple and constructed a structure on top of that. And even the Hindu petitioners have also argued that this was never a mosque because the land was never dedicated as part of a waqf, and therefore it was never legally a mosque. And that is what the Hindu petition is arguing, that this entire property should be returned back, should be restored, the temples should be restored, that there is evidence of idols and Hindu symbols inside what is now the Gyanvapi mosque premises. Now the question before the Supreme Court will be twofold. How far does the court go as far as the right to worship is concerned, particularly when there is also a Places of Worship Act which had said that you cannot change the religious character of a building or a construction or anything that existed at the time of independence. So at the time of independence, when which is what the cutoff date under this act is, both the temple and the mosque existed. The puja was going on in both the temple and the namaz in the mosque. So how will the court now balance these competing rights? Because the Hindu side is saying that to protect our right to worship, to protect our right to access the Shringar Gauri temple and the Swayambhu Shivling inside what is now the mosque, those obstructions, those walls of the Tehkhana, etc. must be removed so that we have unhindered right to go inside to offer to worship and to pray before the deities. On the other side, of course, the Muslim side saying that if you remove any walls, if you change anything there, you are violating the 1991 Act, because the mosque has also existed there since pre-independence. It has also existed there for more than 300 years. And the area where the Hindu side is claiming that there is a shivling, according to the Muslim side, that structure is actually a fountain. Now, whether the Supreme Court accepts either side's argument or whether it tries to balance something of rights remains to be seen, because remember, the UP government also has to take a stand, the local administration also has to take a stand, and in its own verdict in the Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi case, the Supreme Court had said that the Places of Worship Act is good law and does not need to be changed at this stage. So if the Places of Worship Act exists, then the demand of the Hindu devotees to change the structure, to remove the walls, can that even be accommodated? Can the court hear that matter? Is the legal point which the court has to see. Of course, the Hindu side is saying that because this dispute has been going on for such a long time, because this demand has been going on for such a long time, this temple should be restored. The Muslim petitioners, of course, saying that the mosque exists, that there are regular prayers, so you cannot change the structure of the mosque. Now, it is at 3 o'clock we'll find out what the court chooses to do at this stage and what will happen next in this entire controversy. Back to you.
Anisha, I'm going to thank you for the moment. We'll come back to you for more on that. We're staying with this big story where a political war has also erupted over the Gyanvapi survey. And this is getting further heated after the new findings of the 12-page survey report, which was submitted in the court. The BJP has been accused of a communal agenda. All India Muslim Personal Law Board member Kamal Farooqi has hit out at the Saffron Party, saying this is not going to end here. Gradually, all minority religious places will be targeted in the next few days. Earlier, BJP lashed out at Owaisi, accusing him of communalizing the Gyanvapi issue. BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya branded Owaisi a bigot and a hypocrite for his Masjid or Masjid Rahegi declaration. Meanwhile, Samajwadi Party leader Mukhtar Ansari is under spotlight. In a massive claim, Hindu side has said Gyanvapi Mosque Trust was funded by Samajwadi Party leader Mukhtar Ansari.
All these issues which should not have been taken up, because there has been a guarantee by the parliament that after Babri Masjid nothing else would be disturbed and the status quo would be maintained everywhere. But we have seen it, how the things are moving. So this is a very disturbing feature, not from the Muslim points of view alone. Rather, we are more concerned about the country, where are we heading, and what would be the image of the country across the world. We have been a plural society for thousands of years.
With that, it's time for a quick break here. Our focus continues to be on the Gyanvapi Mosque and the Supreme Court hearing, which is going to start in about an hour from now. Stay tuned with us.